Aries, this is your tarot reading for May. I'm a bit baffled by it because I've got the feeling that there's great hope, but you're certainly worried about things, you're certainly concerned about things, and that concern could lead to conflict. Top right hand card, the Five of Wands. Overall, you know, you're a wise person. The middle card, the King of Swords, you know, you've got the information at your fingertips, but somehow there's these blockages. I think you've been searching for something, you know, in the recent past, bottom right, the Page of Wands. You went out looking for something different, looking for something new. And your current energy, I think you're looking more for wealth, you're looking for money. I think you found what you want, really, and you can't see it is the truth. That's the feeling I'm getting. But in the future, you're going to be laying awake at night, worried about it, worried have you done the right thing, are things going as they should be. And it's strange, you know, because you've got this knowledge, or maybe it's about this you acquiring this knowledge. You're certainly restricting yourself, the Eight of Swords at the moment. You're restricting yourself, you're restricting what you do. But you know, there's great happiness here. If only you could understand this happiness, there's great blessings for you. Happy families, I think. I think it's happy families. But if you don't grab that, you're going to end up in this conflict. It's a conflict of misunderstanding. And I think that misunderstanding is based on your fear. Now, of course, these are troubled times in the world. Is your fear about the fear of natural things like falling in love, like starting families in this very troubled world? Maybe it is, but we need to look a little bit more closely, don't we, Aries? Now, the overall energy is that of the King of Swords. Now, he's a wise king. He's a king that's got the information at his fingertips. But I wonder if this information is something that you don't have right now, that you're blinkered from it, but if only you could snatch this information, then what I think is the great joy, the great blessings that are contained in these readings would come to you. You need to understand things, and maybe you need to understand them from your heart and not your head. And maybe, as I say, and not unnaturally, you're worried about the state of the world and how you can do things in this very uncertain world. But, you know, to a certain degree, what we're suffering from is a lack of confidence, a lack of, well, certainly a lack of leadership, let's face it, but a lack of confidence in the future, a lack of confidence in our future. And therefore there's a lack of investment of money, investment of time. And I think you're caught up in all of that. And this runs throughout the entire reading, I have to say. And carrying on with this theme that you're lacking something, in the recent past we have the Page of Wands. You're going out and looking for something. Looking for action more so than ideas, and I think it's ideas that you need, but you were looking for action, you were looking for something, you were looking for change. Maybe you didn't even know what you were looking for, but you went out looking for it. You look at the card, you know, he's going through a parched landscape, so nobody's saying it will be easy, but unless you look for something, you'll never find it, even if you don't quite know what it is you're looking for. But I think you were looking for action, and what you really need to be looking for is ideas. I think you're devoid of ideas, really, or devoid of really understanding yourself and understanding the world and understanding what you need to do. And even now, you know, you're still looking for something. You're still in search of something. I think you're in search of wealth. I think you think you need money. It's not a good time to be looking for wealth, I've got to say. I mean, I'm not giving you financial advice here, but, you know, it's not a good time to be looking for wealth. I mean, I suppose if you're doing things to gain wealth, then that's fine. But if you're looking for investments, I would sit on your hands at the moment. But you know, no, I mean, I suppose if you're going out looking for money, that's fine. But I don't think, even though you perceive money to be your problem, I don't think that's where your problem really lies. But I'm no doubt that you are worried about money. And, you know, we all are to a certain degree. And certainly by May we all are going to be, yeah. Now in the future, you certainly are worried. You're being kept awake at night. This Nine of Swords. You're lying awake at night worrying about things. I think they are of a financial nature, but I think there's a bit more to it than that. It is, how am I going to fund this? How am I going to do that? Oh my God, what have I got myself into? I think that's where, you know, that's what you're worried about. And you're sitting up in bed at night, you look at the cards, still up at bed at night going, oh my God, no, what have I done? What have I done? And, do you know, I think increasingly in 2023, we're going to understand what our priorities in the world are. And, you know, as wealth gets concentrated in the hands of fewer and fewer, we're going to increasingly turn our back on these, what can I say, these webs, these we're going to turn our back on it all. We're going to start saying what really matters to me. What matters is love. What matters is companionship. I need to get by, but, you know, hey, I'm not saying you can all do the same as me and go and live up a mountain and grow your own food and medicine, but, you know, you can at least do something different. And it's not about keeping in with this sort of matrix, if you like, that's been created for us. Why am I speaking in this way? Why am I sort of suggesting that the problems are your own creation? Well, we've got this card here, this Eight of Swords, which is a card of self-restrictions. So you're restricting yourself. I think you're worried about wealth, money, finances. You're worried about how you can do things, how you can continue doing what you want to do. Well, maybe not even what you want to do. How you can do what are, let's face it, the basics of life. You may know that my mother died last year, and I had great, massive difficulty getting to see her because of all the restrictions, you know. And you have to say to yourself, whatever this existential threat is from this health crisis, surely it shouldn't prevent people from seeing their dying mother. And the moment I started to think that way, I wouldn't say all the problems were resolved, but I did get to see her before she died. And I think this is the way you've got to start thinking. You look at her, she's blindfolded. She's got to take the blindfold off. I think the tide's going out, but if it's coming in, it would be quite dangerous, wouldn't it? And, you know, up there's a beautiful village. I mean, nobody's saying things are going to be easy. But there are differences. You can think differently. What could change everything is you counting your blessings. I mean, I think some blessings come to you, and what I think the blessing is, I think either you get pregnant. I mean, it depends on your gender. I think either you get pregnant or you get somebody pregnant. I mean, it might not be that, but I think a family comes to you, and you're worried about the finance. How am I going to pay for this? How am I going to pay for that? That's what I think is happening. But it's some sort of energy like this, and if only you could count your blessings and say, hey, you know, we'll get through this together. Together we're stronger, you know. If you've got love, you've got everything, you know. Yeah, what does... Well, maybe you do have a Lamborghini, I don't know. But you know what I mean? What the hell does it matter? Love is all that matters. Love's the only thing, you know. And you've got your priorities all wrong, haven't you? You got your priorities wrong, Aries. And, you know, this is a shot across the bow saying that things could be an awful lot better for you, I believe. Count your blessings. Because, you know, Aries, if you don't count your blessings and you keep restricting yourself, the outcome is conflict. Now, I said this was a reading of great hope, and I think it is, because I think this conflict is completely avoidable. You know, you could even avoid it by simply sitting down with the person that you're in conflict with and saying, look, this is what I want, these are my concerns, and just talking it over. You know, I think it's completely avoidable, this conflict. And the conflict is to do with your fears. And we're all a little bit fearful. I mean, let's face it, you know, we are now bombarded with fear porn. You know, I mean... Well, God. Remember those Chinese weather balloons that they shot down? You know, I mean, come on. Come on. This fear porn, this keeping us perpetually worried, you know, and goodness, whatever this issue is, if only you could talk it through with the person, I'm certain it could easily be resolved. Now, as always, Aries, I've gone off on one, haven't I? We need to find out what's the truth about this Eight of Swords, these restrictions. First one we get is a Nine of Pentacles, which is suggesting you do have enough money, if only you could look for it. The next card is the Empress card. This could be getting in touch with Divine Feminine, but it could be about this family, somebody being pregnant. You look at her, she does look pregnant, doesn't she? And final card is the Star card, a card of renewal and hope, which is what I think you need to do. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at each individually. So if you remember, we're looking at this Eight of Swords, this card of self-restriction, and the first card we have of clarity is the Nine of Pentacles, which is suggesting to me that you do have the money. So even though you're worried about money, you do have the money. You do have the money. You're just, you know, maybe you're worried about the world, maybe you're worried about spending money, although we don't have a miser card come out here. But, you know, maybe you're just worried about that. The other thing I'd say about her, you look at her, I mean, she looks to have got everything, but she is by herself. And as you know, I get the feeling that this is about families. And maybe this isn't, you know, maybe you don't have a partner yet, or not a firm partner, you know. And so you're thinking, well, would I not be better off by myself? And in monetary terms, you would be. But, you know, love really does make the world go round, Aries. Don't worry. And why do I think it's about a pregnancy and therefore you get in a family? Well, we've got the Empress card. You look at her, she's pregnant. Now, you know, you might be saying I'm too old to get pregnant, or I'm too old to get somebody pregnant, or I don't know. So it might not be about pregnancy, but it's about feminine side, it's about luxury, it's about enjoying life, it's about being in touch with nature, it's about the good things in life. But I do think it's about pregnancy. I do think there's a pregnancy here, whether it's yours or whether it's you get somebody pregnant and you're just reluctant to do the right thing, you know. But families are such joy. Families are such joy, particularly in these difficult times. And you know, whatever it is that you're restricting yourself from would completely change your life. It would be a rebirth for you. Birth, rebirth. That's interesting, isn't it? It would be a rebirth for you. It would be a time of great hope. It would completely change everything. If only you can just bring down those barriers that you're putting up. Because I think, as I say, this is a reading of massive hope. And I think you should grab this family, grab this love, and you won't half feel better. I think we can summarise Aries. Aries, you're looking for something. And I don't think you quite know what it is. You were looking for activity in the past, and now you're looking for money. And, you know, I think you do need more wealth, you know, and I suppose we all do. But what you're really looking for is love, and you don't really realise that. But I think it will come to you. It will come to you. But right now, you're worried about money. You're worried about money, and you're restricting what you're doing because of these worries. And, you know, I think you either get someone pregnant or you get pregnant. But, I mean, that doesn't have to be the case. But you're being offered a sort of wonderful, loving family life. And you're thinking to yourself, am I not better off by myself? Am I not better off by myself? You know, I'd be much wealthier, you know. And it's like, well, what's money without love, you know? And because of these restrictions, I mean, I think you probably do want the same things as your family, but it brings you into conflict, but the conflict's so easily avoidable. If only you sat down and spoke to them about what you wanted and what your fears are as well. And, you know, they might just say to you, well, those are my fears as well, and it would just bring you closer together. Because I think if only you can get hold of this right way of thinking, there is great hope and happiness in this reading. Massive hope, massive happiness. But you have to grab it, and you have to take down those restrictions, and above all, you have to stop worrying, Aries.